Hello friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. This call has been recorded for quality and training purposes. About a year ago, I was working behind the counter for a liquor store. It wasn't particularly busy, and my boss was stacking shelves nearby when an entitled customer walks in. She gets several bottles of alcohol and comes up to the counter. I estimate she looks under 20. Me: "Good evening. Before I serve you, do you have a valid ID?" Entitled customer: "I don't need ID. I'm 25. Me: "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I am required by law to cite ID from all customers that may be underage." Entitled customer: "Well, I don't have any ID. Just sell me the alcohol." Me: "I'm sorry, but if you don't have valid ID, I cannot serve you." So entitled customer goes completely ape. She screams at me, calling me, amongst other things, a pedophile, a rapist, and a fat piece of crap. Me: "I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'll have to ask you to leave the store." Still screaming invective at me, and then the manager, she leaves the store. As this is not an unusual occurrence, the boss and I laugh it off and get back to work thinking no more of it. Fast forward about a week. I'm working when the boss calls me to the office to get a phone call from HR. Me: "Hi, what can I do for you?" HR: "We received a complaint from a customer that you were exceptionally rude to her on date Q. Due to this, we've signed you up for a mandatory course on customer service. It's at X and Y time and date." Me: "Hang on a second." I grab my phone and switch on the record function. "Sorry, could you repeat that?" HR repeats. Me: "My manager was here for that incident. He'll confirm that I was not rude to that customer." HR: "Yes, he said that. Nonetheless, you have to attend the customer service course. It's mandatory." Me: "Hang on, so you're trying to tell me that my manager and I are lying?" HR: "No, but we got a complaint, so you have to do the course." Me: "So let me get this straight. Despite the fact that I was not rude to the customer, and my manager says that I was not rude to the customer, and she was literally lying about it, I have to attend a course on customer service?" HR: "Yes." Me: "Do you know what workplace bullying is?" HR: "What?" Me: "Workplace bullying." HR: "What? Why?" Me: "You were punishing me for an event that did not happen. That qualifies as workplace bullying. I suggest you take me off this customer service mandatory course." HR: "I can't do that. You have to attend it." Me: "No problem. I quit. I'll see you in court. I should mention that this call has been recorded for quality and training purposes." I put the phone down and chat with the manager for a few minutes while he tries to calm me down from the incandescent rage I'm feeling. A few minutes later, the phone rings again. It's HR's supervisor. We stick it on speaker and I record again. HR supervisor: "What's this all about?" So I explained what HR told me, and he questioned the manager and myself. After a few minutes back and forth, he says, "Okay, I'll take you off the course." Me: "That's not good enough." HR supervisor: "What?" Me: "I'm a victim of workplace bullying. I'm taking you to court." HR supervisor: "That's hardly necessary. We fixed the problem, right?" Me: "No, I've been insulted and then been told that the company does not trust me, nor does it trust my manager. I'd prefer to take my chances in court as I have direct evidence of workplace bullying." HR supervisor: "What can we do to resolve this?" Me: "Two things. I'd like a raise, and you to personally send a memo to everyone stating that they just cannot send people on mandatory training courses unless there is actual evidence that wrongdoing has occurred." HR supervisor: "I'll see what I can do." Anyway, I got a small raise, and a memo was sent out requiring review of customer complaints before any mandatory training was required of staff, so I took the win. My boss and I had a good laugh about it, and he admired my bravery in standing up to the dreaded HR. What pisses me off the most, though, is the thought of how many staff had to attend mandatory training for something that was entirely the fault of some entitled customer. My ex being kicked out, continued, and arrested. Background: me and my ex had been together just about a year and had decided to move in together for this most recent semester of uni, where we began to have a lot of fights. And we were on rocky terms for a little while. And this time she would take advantage of my insecurities and my kindness just so she would get more attention, while not giving any back to me. Most of our conversations at this point were apologetic, or were trying to fix these problems, or at least I thought. Whenever I tried to talk to her in person, she would get hyper defensive and too emotional to deal with the facts that I was telling her, Thus, she would leave and message me over Discord, Snapchat, saying these horrible things to me, only meant to tear me down, adding in a few, maybe we should break up for good measures. One night I had enough and said that it would be best to take a break and try to figure out from a third-person perspective what was wrong with our relationship. She took this as breaking up. Not 2 days later, she had brought someone else over to our apartment to have sex. This decimated me, leading me to have a mental and emotional breakdown while they were having sex in the other room. I had mutual friends get me out of our place for the night, where I explained our situation to them. They hated her for what she'd done to me, and all of them cut contact with her right on the spot, which I later found out was a major hit to her ego. But that's not even the best part. Then the guy she had sex with came to me and apologized for what had happened. He explained he felt bad for what he did, and that he was told we had been separate for 2 weeks and was doing that the whole time, and that her wanting to have sex with him was the reason for her last breakup before me. And he came to tell me because she's now going to have sex with his friend. Of course, rage ensues, but for some reason not towards him. But a plan did pop into my head. College student apartments, at least around here, all sign in mid-February, and I took my chance. I gathered a group of 4 of her once friends, and we all signed the lease together, kicking her out of the apartment entirely. She has until the end of the month to find somewhere else to live. So I got out of this toxic relationship with all her friends, and I kicked her out of her own apartment. So I hope that D tasted nice, is all from my last post about 2 weeks ago. After getting her off the lease, she tried to get a replacement for the time she still had there, subleasing for her room in the apartment, which is strictly not allowed in the contract we signed at the beginning of last year. By this point, she had gone full psycho, threatening people in our apartment, including herself, to the point where a roommate called for a wellness check on her, mentally abusing the other roommates, and all around was horrible. So I went to the landlady to get some info about what she could do next, where I got some information about what she had to do to get out of the apartment and away from what she had done to me. So I leave these papers saying that she legally can't sublease and can suffer legal consequences if she does. She loses it completely. She begins to yell at me for intruding in her life and ruining everything, even though she was the one who did it to herself. This escalates to her yelling at me about an inch away from my face, to which I stand up to get her away from me, and she strikes me. She hits me in the face with so much anger, and that was the last straw. I built up the courage and went to the police and filed a report with a witness. And they, without me knowing until afterwards, arrested her on the spot. She had been charged with battery and then forced into a psych ward for mental health monitoring. The police then allowed me to fill out a protection order, restraining order against her, giving me the grounds to forcefully evict her from the apartment complex and notify her employer of what happened, leading to her getting fired the next day. She is the only person who I can safely say is dead to me. And if you ever read this, Brooke, I hope you burn in hell. You took $200, you lost $21,000. So most users of computers will probably have some experience with this. You know when you're online shopping and sometimes a box pops up and says, click this, promo code, sign up, yada yada? Well, we know they are scams. My mistake. I first clicked the wrong X. They put a fake one on the top and I clicked it. I immediately shut the page and thought that was the end of it. Nope. So the site I bought the Hanukkah gift I was getting for my mother sold my credit card information to the pop-up. I activated that when I clicked the wrong X. I was a teenager, relatively new to my checking account. I checked my statement for December and all was well. I didn't check for the next couple months because I didn't use it for anything. There should be no charges. I know better now. When I did check, I noticed all these small, insignificant charges that weren't mine, always less than $10 and usually around $2. But the multiple charges added up to over $200. When I looked into this, I found the connection. I called the thieving company and told them they stole my information and are illegally charging my card. They didn't deny it, but they also didn't care. I wanted my money back. They refused repeatedly. I gave them so many chances to fix everything with just that, I eventually warned them I would have to sue if they didn't give back what they stole. They laughed. Turns out there was a class action suit in progress, which my lawyer used as leverage for a quick payout. We sued for fraud and violation of federal communication laws. What they are doing is very illegal. It happens every day. This included a lot of popular stores and websites since they were 100% in the wrong and committed a crime, and I was a child who bought her mother a gift. I won the case. I received a judgment of $21,000. I told them that it would all go away just by refunding my $200, but they refused. They seemed to think a teenager threatening to sue a massive corporation that does nothing but break the law wasn't much of a threat. What they should have noticed? I was buying a Hanukkah gift. Hanukkah! Everyone I know is a lawyer. Thank you all for watching and see you soon.